Yes,
Yeah, sure.
get to my screen up.
Yeah, you can also give a brief about yourself to the audience here.
Sure. Hello. Good
Yeah,
morning,
hi.
everybody. Um, I was listening into all the introductions to the program, and I just want to start off by thanking everybody who's involved in this program, Kyati, Anand, and of course Anupurani. I don't think I've met you, but I'm glad to see somebody, a new face in the Trailblazer community. So, the first time I heard about this whole program, I was honestly impressed because this is a lot of work and this is going to be very useful to everybody out there. And, this is the kind of programs that Salesforce would try to run itself for its Trailblazers. And here the community is doing for each other. So it makes us very happy. And of course, I'm here to support as much as we can because what we know that what you're doing is not easy. And to everybody who's on the call, yeah, please make sure that you take full advantage of this because if you're looking to get into Salesforce or start a new career in Salesforce, there's no other easier way to do this than this 100 days of Trailhead for sure. Because you're combining, Salesforce programs like Journey to Salesforce with the support of the community and you should probably talk to people who learned Salesforce 4 5 years ago, and they would tell you how lucky you are because many a times people struggled without help from anybody else. So yeah, I'm very happy. Once again, thanks to everybody here. Uh, I'll just maybe start sharing my screen. Okay. A quick introduction about myself. My name is Jerry, and I'm part of the Salesforce Developer Relations team that takes care of the APAC region in India. And many of you may not know what developer relations is, but we basically are here to make sure that uh, what all developers need in terms of content and help and support, they get it in India and APAC. And so we come to events like this, we listen to you, we take your feedback back to product managers, and we try to do things that will help you, learn Salesforce, help you use Salesforce at your jobs. So I'm part of the developer relations team. If you would like to reach out to me for anything, I'm on Twitter as at Jerry SFDC. I'm putting my handle name here. So just reach out to me after this presentation if you'd like to know more or if you have any questions. But we're going to keep it pretty simple today. I'm just going to try to cover what Salesforce is, the basic questions that you may have on Salesforce, and then we'll take it from there. So starting off, forward-looking statements. This is just a statement to say that we may discuss things now that are not publicly available or generally available on Salesforce. So don't make any buying decisions or any other decisions based on what you see today. Make sure you do your own research. This is just a legal disclaimer we have to give because we are a public company. At Salesforce, we always start off by saying thank you. And a lot of, I mean, I've already expressed my gratitude, but to the organizers, but I also want to thank the aspirants today, everybody who's turned up today, because you're giving up 4 hours of your time to learn Salesforce. And I wanted to appreciate your dedication, your motivation, and for being here, for supporting this initiative. So I just want to start off by talking about Salesforce's core values and people. If you've been in the ecosystem for some time, you're aware of this. But these are the four guiding principles of Salesforce, and the reason I bring this up in today's presentation is it will help you understand how we build our products, how we try to build our community as well, and what is important for Salesforce and its community. So trust is our number one value. Here we are trying to make sure that we have the trust of our customers, the trust of all our stakeholders, that we are trying to be ethical, that we are always keeping, maintaining that trust and not doing anything to break that. That is number one. Customer success is second value, speaks for itself. It's everything that we do to make our customers successful. The third value is innovation, and Salesforce as a platform tries to be as innovative as possible. We try to uh, give you access to the latest technologies in the easiest way possible, whether as a customer or as a developer building on this platform. You will have access to the best technologies out there. And lastly, of course, equality, making sure that the community that we grow, that uh, all our efforts are inclusive and representative of the society we live in, and in all ways. So moving on, business is the greatest platform for change. This is a very popular quote from our CEO Mark Benioff, who is from the start, from the day he started Salesforce. Our founders have been interested in giving back and using their business as a way to change the world around them. And Salesforce has something called the 1-1-1 model, where we pledge 1% of our product, 1% of our employees' time, and 1% of our revenue towards giving back towards the society we live in. And these are some of the numbers from last year: how much we've donated, how many hours Salesforce employees have volunteered, the organizations we've touched. But what's nice about this model is that this pledge, this 1-1-1 pledge, has inspired others as well. And we've seen many Salesforce partners and other businesses in the Salesforce ecosystem adopt this. And this is very representative of how Salesforce functions, how the community is. We are all here to support each other, and giving back is important. And you can see that today, you have people like Yati and Anand and Annapurani really giving back to all of you, because they don't need to do it. They're not getting paid to do this. They are not getting any recognition to do this. They're doing this to help you, just out of the goodwill of their heart. So it is a part of who we are as Salesforce and a community. So touching on Salesforce CRM, what is Salesforce? So CRM, for those of you who are new, is short for Customer Relationship Management. And um, it is just a fancy way of saying, how do you manage the data of your customers? So you're a business selling to your customers. How do you keep a list of who your customers are, who are you talking to, what do they need, um, how much are they paying you? And that's how it started off, CRM, customer relationship management. But now today CRM, um, it has expanded in so many more areas: customer support, service requests, IT support, online support, the digital support that you get on a website, marketing. And Salesforce has also grown to provide all this. Salesforce, I'm not sure how many of you are aware of the story, but Salesforce was, when it started off, it was a revolutionary idea, because we were one of the first companies to adopt the idea of a cloud, of having our products on a cloud. All the other companies back then used to sell software products that were on premise, that you had to come install and have somebody maintain it. So Salesforce's first innovation was that we built a product that was on the cloud, that was accessible through the internet, through any browser anywhere in the world. The second thing that we did was to have a subscription model. We, instead of paying for everything upfront and or paying very large annual fee, we have a monthly payment that you can cancel anytime. So these two innovations, and our founders back then were trying to make business software as easy as possible. You know, it didn't have to be so complicated, and a combination of all this clicked, and we redefined what customer relationship management was, and we've been a rocket ship ever since. And this shows only from 2017, but ever since we were founded, we've been dominating the market when it comes to CRM. And the because of the first mover advantage that we had and the great ideas and the innovation that happens at Salesforce, we continue growing and becoming capturing more of this CRM market. But why does this? Why am I talking about this? Why does it affect you? It's just an indicator that this technology is around to stay. You're not Salesforce is not going anywhere. It is very much a part of every business out there, and because it is so much in demand, there will be demand for people who are looking to build on it. So this is why Salesforce's success is also your success, and your success is also Salesforce's success. So let's talk about Trailblazers. You would have heard this word thrown around a lot, like Trailblazers. Oh, you know, we are the Trailblazer community. They're Trailblazers. So what are Trailblazers? Trailblazers is a term that Salesforce uses to refer to everybody in its ecosystem. Could be Salesforce employees, could be partners, it could be developers, admins, everybody who is using the Salesforce platform, their skills, their goodwill to make change in their companies, in their societies. And we've had a lot of stories of people making changes like this, and we collectively refer to all of you as trailblazers. And like, for example, Anand and Kyati and Annapurani are trailblazers because they are building this program called 100 Days of Trailhead that is going to help hundreds of other people. We mute whoever that is.
Anand, can you mute everyone?
Okay, thank you. So yeah, so trailblazers is just it's a, I guess it's a label. You have to learn a terminology that you have to get used to, but it refers to all of you on these in this call are trailblazers as well. You are either helping others learn Salesforce and change their lives and change their careers, which is not something small, or you're here to learn and do something scary, which is to, change your career, learn a new technology. You don't know what is in store for you in the future. You're placing faith in this technology and this ecosystem, and so everything that all of you do, we respect and appreciate, and hence we have this term called trailblazers to refer to all of you. So Salesforce isn't just a business, it's an economy of trust. All that's good. But every year we work with the International Data Corporation to release a report. So they look at the Salesforce ecosystem and see how many jobs are projected to be created by Salesforce and its partners and all the activity that we do. And in the latest report, we see that by 2026, we're going to have 9.3 million jobs, $1.6 trillion in revenue, etc. Uh, for India itself, I think the number is more than 1.5 million. 1.5, more than 1.5 million new Salesforce jobs will be created in India by 2026. And this just means that, this shows the demand that is there for Salesforce. Um, and because there's a demand for Salesforce, there are going to be there is going to be a demand for the people who can build on Salesforce, and this number just keeps increasing every year. But if you wanted any reassurance that there are jobs being created out there, this report helps with that. So I talked about Salesforce, I talked about CRM, talked about Trailblazers. These are terms that you hear a lot when you are in the Salesforce ecosystem or new in the Salesforce ecosystem. And the other thing that you would have heard about is Trailhead. So what is Trailhead? Trailhead is a platform. It's a free platform. It's online, and it's a free online platform that Salesforce has built for you to learn Salesforce on your own, and for you to learn Salesforce in a way that makes sense for you. Because maybe you want to become an admin, maybe you want to become a developer, maybe you want to learn marketing. Whatever you do want to learn, all the information is out there, and it's available for free. And we also have a Trailhead Go app, which is for your mobile in case you want to learn on your mobile. And rather than talk about this, I'll just break here to show you Trailhead itself and give you a quick overview of what Trailhead is. One second. So this is Trailhead, and you can see that it's the URL is trailhead.salesforce.com, and you can Google this as well. Let me try to log out, show you how to log in as well. So when you land on Trailhead for the first time, there's a lot of information, and you might not know what all these are. So let's start talking by just talking about how you can sign up for Trailhead. So there's a sign up button here, and this process is you'll be taken to your Trailblazer ID, and this is a unique SSO that you will use across Salesforce. So say you want to attend Dreamforce or you want to see some other video on Salesforce Plus, you're going to still end up using this ID that you create, and you can create using you can use your Salesforce org, you can use email, you can use Google, LinkedIn, Apple, Facebook. So I'm going to go ahead and use Google. And since I already have an account, I'm logged in. If you didn't have an account, it'll ask you for your information, your name, your role, what you're interested in learning, where you're from, etc. So on the first page, because I've been doing Trailer a lot, it gives me a lot of recommendation. It tells me which badges I am currently doing, which trails I am currently doing, what are the recommendations, what can I do next, the Trailblazer community feed, trending topics, new badges, etc. So this is a page customized for me, for my learning. So let's go to my profile and see. Your Trailblazer profile is a good indication of how much you know about Salesforce, because a lot of employers look here to see, okay, I don't have any Salesforce certifications, but if you have Salesforce certifications, it shows up here. You can add it here. It shows up how many badges you have. Um, in Trailhead, you also have ranks. The highest rank being a ranger. If you have 100 badges and 50,000 points, if you have more than that, you're called a ranger. But some people go beyond this, and they get 200 badges, 300, 600 badges, 1,000 badges. And we call them 2-star, 3-star, 4-star rangers. But officially on Trailhead, you'll see only this as the highest rank. And you can see that it has an overview of everything. What are the super badges that I've done? I'll get into what super badges are. What are the skills I have? General skills, industry, security, integration, reporting, CRM, and what are the badges I've done. So it's almost like your resume for the Trailblazer ecosystem. And yeah, so coming back to my profile, let's talk about what a badge is. So I open one of these things. So this is a module. And if you complete this module, you'll get this badge on your profile saying that you know asynchronous Apex. And each module, if you go into it, there's a lot of information, the videos, and at the end, there's a quiz. So if you answer this quiz correctly, you'll move on to the next chapter in this module. And if you finish all of these, you will then get this badge. So you also, I think, yes. So in some of your challenges, you're not going to just have quizzes. You're going to get a hands-on environment on Salesforce that you can launch and then do actual work on this environment. So the instructions are given and you'll have to do this, and hence you'll learn by doing. And these are called Trailhead playgrounds. And this is one of the unique things about Trailhead, where you can work on the product directly. And a collection of these badges are called trails and trail mixes. Trails are official trails created by Salesforce. So these are like, or these are given by Trailhead themselves. So like if you want to learn Marketing Cloud, mobile in Marketing Cloud, you have a trail for that. So there are different this is one badge, another badge, another badge, another badge, another badge. If you finish all those badges, you finish the trail. You also have trail mixes. So this is a collection. Anybody can create a trail mix. So you can create a trail mix as well, and you can create a set of badges that you think make more sense for you. So it's almost like creating a playlist for your songs, but instead of songs, you're selecting badges on Trailhead itself. So this is an overview of Trailhead. You can see that on the top, you can see trails, trail mixes to explore any trails and trail mixes you want, modules. There's also projects that you can that have a little more complicated use case. Trailhead Live to watch online videos. This you know all know, I assume, about certifications. Salesforce has many certifications for developers. We have platform developer 1 and 2, but for each role we have different certifications, and you can once you're confident enough in your skills, you can take a certification and it adds value to your resume. But we also have something called super badges, which are, say, it's like a tougher badge. It's not easy to complete. The ones I've done have taken me at least a day or two to finish, a full day or two of work to finish and figure out. You really need to know the content to be able to finish these super badges. You can't, fake your way through a super badge. You need to know what you learned to be able to do a super badge. And doing a super badge is you're on the way to being skilled enough to take a certification as well. We also have the Trailblazer community. The groups are what you are now a part of. You've joined today's meeting as part of a meeting organized by the Chennai User Group and the Kolkata WIT group. You can look at topics, events, etc. So that's an overview of Trailhead. At this point, I'll actually pause to see if anybody has any questions about Trailhead if you're new. I don't see the Q&A option. So if anybody,
Yeah, I have noted down the QAs. Yeah, I'll just go through one by one.
yeah.
It is from Naveen. I have completed my MBA finance, and he has a query whether is Salesforce suitable for MBA finance.
See, Salesforce is a technology that anybody can learn. And with resources like Trailhead and support from the community like this, like 100 days of Trailhead program, um, you you have everything you need to learn Salesforce. So if even if you have a finance background, you can do that. But you shouldn't be insistent that you need to do a finance job or in Salesforce because and I'm just trying to look up the career paths. Yes, this is what I want. So the main roles in Salesforce, if you see, are administrator, developer, architect. So these are all technical roles, and each one is more complex than the others. Then we have business analysts, marketing, sales, Salesforce consultant, Salesforce designer. But in India, the main demand is for Salesforce developers. So if you're from an MBA finance background or any background, and you want to get the best job in India for in the Salesforce technology, Salesforce developer is the best job. And if as long as you're open to learning how to do some coding, to learning the technical concepts, which you can learn for free and at your own pace, you will definitely get a job in the Salesforce ecosystem as long as you keep trying, because there's so much demand that people are not going to be picky. Oh, you don't have a developer background, you have MBA finance. They're not going to look at all that. People want developers and technical people who can solve problems for their customers. That's what partners are looking for. So I hope I've answered your question. Doesn't mean that you can't become a Salesforce administrator or start marketing in Salesforce or become a Salesforce consultant. But these roles are less in demand. So you would have to work a lot harder to get a job as in one of these roles. An easier way is to start off as a developer, and then within the company that you're working with or in another company, you can join as another role in another role that you like better. I
Yeah.
see a good question here. Is it possible for women who have career gaps to launch to Salesforce job? Yes, it is possible. And I'm saying this confidently because I've seen people do that. Let me see if I can actually. There is a person called Suman who actually who had a career gap like this because of personal issues, and she wanted to get back into the industry. She was learning Salesforce for the first time. She did the Journey to Salesforce program, and then she got a job. She got one of the best offers that year. And so which is you just goes to show, like, career gaps, previous experiences don't count as much as how well you know Salesforce and how well your technical knowledge is. uh,
Yeah. Oh, yes. Hope you're answered.
yeah.
Yeah. The next is yes. Akshay has asked what are specific Trailhead modules for administrator part and developer part, because a lot of confusion in Trailhead modules. Yes, Akshay. Probably this particular module what we are running now or running today, na, it will give you a detailed of what is necessary for the basics of developer or basics for the administrator. So we will let you know what all the topics which are the basics which can help you learn those things. So hopefully by the end of this session you will be getting that answer.
Yeah, and there's definitely going to be an overlap because, like Anand mentioned, you'll need to know some of those basic concepts that an admin may know to be a developer. And an admin will need to know, even if they don't know how to code, they will need to know what is possible and what can be done by a developer. So there will be an overlap, but if you want to look for like modules, you can go to this career path and go to the role at the bottom. There is a trail mix that Salesforce themselves have created, and that's a good place to start. apart from the resources that you already have, with like 100 days of Salesforce and some of the things that I'll also show today. Um, I also saw a question: what is the difference between trails and trail mixes? They're both collection of Salesforce modules or Salesforce badges. Like I said, the difference is trail mix can be created by anybody. It can be created by me, Salesforce, or could be created by you as well. Maybe Anand will create a trail mix for 100 days of Trailhead. So trail mix can be created by anybody, but trails are inbuilt into Trailhead, and it's just for those very, like, like we had that question: what is the how do I learn to become an admin? Since that's a common question, there will be a trail for that to show how do you learn to become an admin. So you don't have to worry too much about it. Just look for what works for you and then follow that.
Yeah, sure, Jerry. Yeah. If you
That
have anything, you can complete. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, and like Anapurni said, there is a lot of questions and there is a lack of time. But like I said, you can reach out to me on Twitter. I may be delayed by a day or two to respond, but I will try to respond to all of you if you have any questions. And of course, you can use any of the remaining Q&A sessions to get your thing. So we already covered the Salesforce different roles in Salesforce. I had showed you on the website itself. Another thing I want to touch upon is about the Salesforce program. A lot of you mentioned. I know that it was mentioned that a lot of the aspirants today are from Journey to Salesforce. But just an overview of this program. It's a program that Salesforce has created to help anybody wanting to learn Salesforce. And at the end, we also provide employer connections. So there are like four trail mixes that we've curated based on feedback from the partners, people who are looking to hire, from the employers. And then if you finish all that, you go to an employer connections. If you're new to Salesforce, if you're new to this is definitely a program you should check out. The link is linked over here as force.co/career, and you can register there. Some of the success stories that I wanted to share as well. Success stories from Journey to Salesforce and Trailhead as well. Journey to Salesforce is built on Trailhead, so they're both one and the same. You can see that this person was went from a teacher to a developer. Wades was able to find and switch jobs during the COVID-19 pandemic. And Ajit, who many of you may have seen on LinkedIn, was studying to become a doctor, but then switched careers and got into the IT sector through Salesforce, through Journey to Salesforce and Trailhead. So those are some of the resources. As far as where do you see what's the most, how do you find the most important things that are happening? We have a Telegram channel where we post very regular updates. You can scan this QR code and it'll take.
Queries, I'll just post it. Okay. There's a query, Jerry, there's a query from Shivam, Kumar Shivam.
Okay.
How can we use cloud computing or DevOps experience in Salesforce?
Um, Good question. I mean, when you say cloud computing, it's Salesforce. I mean, Salesforce itself is built on the cloud. So by using Salesforce, you're already using cloud computing. You don't have to worry about that. I don't know if you have a specific area of cloud computing that you want to learn, like building on AWS or stuff like that. But in general, Salesforce is built on the cloud and we make things easier for you. You don't have to worry about security and other scalability and other issues. You just have to build solutions for the customers. But if you're just worried about being in an industry with cloud computing or in the cloud computing industry, Salesforce is already there. Salesforce also has a DevOps tool that is in beta. So it will be released soon. There are also like partner tools that are there to help implement DevOps in Salesforce. So DevOps is also something that you can do on and in Salesforce.
Yeah, thank you. I'm adding on to it. In even in Salesforce, like we have many DevOps tools like which we are getting connected to. Say, for example, it's a kind of like even for data migration. We currently the Salesforce out of box functionality change set is there. But in addition to that, there are a lot of migration tools which are used. That is from the DevOps perspective. So there are many things which are there. Say, for example, Copedo and so something like that. All the DevOps is also there. So I mean, it's up to the organization like on what which is what they prefer. So there is always an opportunity, so no worries, you guys can keep learning on that. Yeah. And there's one more from Prashant, that is which skill is needed for joining as a Salesforce developer.
Cool. I just sent one link for DevOps if you're interested. But yeah, Salesforce developer skills. I think the most important skill is just your attitude towards problem solving. Because what differentiates people who are successful from people who are not is many people learn Salesforce, but a few of them only think about how they can use Salesforce to solve other people's problems. So I'll give you an example. One of a successful aspirant from Journey to Salesforce, she took what she learned in Journey to Salesforce, and then she used to build a flow in Salesforce that helped her. She managed her clients in Salesforce, but also built a flow that sent receipts to all of them for their Bharatanatyam classes, for the fees paid for their Bharatanatyam classes. So this is somebody taking, what they learned and then solving their own problem. That kind of attitude is what is going to make you successful. Of course, you need to, all the skills, the technical skills that you want to learn is available on Trailhead and through mentors and other platforms, so you can always learn that. But this is something that's hard to get. But other than that, there's no prerequisite skill. Like Salesforce is not an ecosystem where, oh, you don't have 10 years of developer experience, you can't join, become a Salesforce developer. There's nothing like that. Of course, if you've done some development on Java or JavaScript, you might find it easier to pick up Salesforce, but everybody's journey is their own. So I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah. And there are many people who has asked that they are from non-technical background, and how will they be able to pitch themselves into the Salesforce.
Yeah, I mean, I showed that those success stories in my presentation, right? So teachers, doctors, many people have moved from a non-technical background to Salesforce into a tech background. So I apologize, but in general, I don't think that is a barrier. Right? Like I said, it's all your mindset. If you think that you can never do technical, you can never code, you can never program, then probably you can't be a Salesforce developer. But keep in mind that Salesforce also makes it very easy to learn and also do these things. Development on Salesforce is a lot easier than other platforms. There are a lot of things that are taken care of. So you don't, it's easier to uh, develop on Salesforce. It's easier to learn Salesforce than any other technology. So don't think of like C++ and oops that you learned in 10th standard in school, and get worried that that's what you're coming to. Of course, the logic and the concepts are the same, but it isn't going to be that hard to learn Salesforce. As long as you're sincere about it, you can also become a Salesforce developer or a Salesforce admin.
Yeah. Also, there are repeated questions I've been seeing on. Um, I mean, I have been learning, but I'm not getting any calls from the employers. So this is a very recent kind of
Common,
queries
common
which
question.
I've been seeing. Guys, I have also point on this. Like, you guys have to improvise yourself on your technical skills. So, as Jerry has mentioned, there is a super batches also which is there in the Trailhead itself, so you guys can go through it, so you will get to know how you will implement the real time experience, so real time what the customer needs, so that you can just go through it and then when you start writing the code or when you start doing the configuration development, then it will be easy for you. So only then you will be able to prove yourself. So I mean, these days, like we have been saying that even people when they are doing the certification, it is not complete 100% that they are completely skilled. So you have to get in line with what is there in the market needs, and what, see, it's kind of like real time experience. So say for example, when you're going to a bank, what is the expectation? Okay, when you're when you're putting your ATM card, all you need is you need to get the amount of what is only there in your account. So this is a general basic things which you'll have to think about. Then how will you write the code for that? How your system will accommodate for that? So this is a basic thinking which we'll have to accommodate with. So you guys have to link all those things and start going through all the trial head mixers, and then it will be easy for you to go through it. And hopefully, like when you skill up yourself, so obviously like you will be getting through it.
Yeah. And also make sure you use the community, because maybe it's just, maybe if you show your resume to somebody who is senior, or somebody who's been successful and gotten a job, they might be able to point out the things that you can improve, the things that you can show, to help you, to help your resume get picked and all that. So really lean into the community, make use of that mentorship that you have access to, and don't give up, keep trying, because usually I've seen that you have to be a little persistent, because you don't know where your opportunity will come from, but there are definitely enough opportunities out there that if you keep trying, something will work out. So if they're from journey to Salesforce, I would say, apply for each month's employer connections, try to learn more, like Annapurni said. Don't stop in your learning journey, and then use the mentors. So you're there, or you can go to this link. You'll need to have Telegram um, installed for it to open. So yeah, I see that there's a lot of, and before I close, I see there's a lot of questions about journey to Salesforce, and people saying that they've not gotten any calls from employers. It may take some time. That's all I would say, because the best thing that you can do is keep improving your resume by learning more about Salesforce, and this 100 days of Salesforce is a good way to do that, because even if you've already done journey to Salesforce, and if you already know Salesforce, this is a good way to improve that knowledge and become really strong, and that will show on your resume. Um, Try to do things that show how much you know about Salesforce, because if you can convince the employer that you know Salesforce well, no employer is going to say no to you. But with that, thank you. I know we can't take more questions, but just reach out to me on Twitter. And yeah, it's been nice to meet all of you, and I'm happy to see so many of you here. I hope you keep on your journey and don't get discouraged, and make best use of all the support that you're getting from the Trailblazer community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Yeah. Thank you so much for giving the brief on what is Salesforce, and what is all about the trial mix and all those things. So it will be helpful for the new joiners or for the new people like who are learning about the Salesforce. Team